Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you. That's probably a little bit easier. So I'm here from Silicon Valley to really talk about how can we empower, how can we support clean tech entrepreneurs. And I'm very pleased to be here in Malaysia because only yesterday we launched a program in Malaysia with our wonderful partners, Might. So in terms of where we're from, it's basically a program that we operate in the US and around the world to facilitate clean tech entrepreneurs, to empower them, to give them the skills and the connections they need to move forward with their businesses. And we term ourselves the world's largest clean tech accelerator. We work across the US and around the world with over 2,000 volunteers in the US alone. We've worked with over 800 companies, 800 startups, which have then gone on to raise over $800 million in funding. So that's one way that we track, are we working, are we having an impact? So our mission is really to find, fund, and foster entrepreneurs that have solutions to the greatest environmental, energy, and environmental challenges that we face. And we believe that entrepreneurs are the answer. Entrepreneurs can develop the technologies, the tools, the solutions that we need to address these challenges. And our particular approach is, how can we de-risk these entrepreneurs? How can we progressively make them more attractive to customers, to partners, and to investors? So just to give you an example of some of the types of companies that we work with. So when we term clean tech, we basically cover almost everything apart from nuclear. So on the left-hand side here, we have a company called EarthClean that developed a biodegradable fire retardant solution. So quite often, if you're trying to fight a forest fire in the US, typically the solutions that you would use would be toxic to wildlife, toxic to plants. And what this particular company has developed is a solution that's so organic, so benign, you can actually drink it. And they actually, on stage, when they give presentations to customers, they will drink their solution. And a couple of, I think, months after demonstrating this at one of our events, they had a connection with the fire service in Texas and were able to actually use this to tackle fires and very soon afterwards close some additional funding. Now, Alphabet Energy is a very interesting company coming out of a national lab in the US, and they've developed technology to basically harvest waste energy. So how can you take energy, whether it's from industrial processes, whether it's from the small or the micro scale, and how can you actually convert that into electricity in a very cost-effective way? Enervolt is another very interesting company that's come up with the solutions to basically provide grid-scale storage. So how do you provide electricity to a town for 4 hours, 5 hours, a whole day by switching on their grid-scale battery solutions. Now, one of the things you notice is that we tend to track particularly how much funding have these entrepreneurs raised. That's not just one of the success factors, but it's an important factor. Flow Design has raised over $143 million so far. That's a company, one of our alumni from the Northeast, from Boston, and they've developed a new type of wind turbine. They were inspired by the design of jet engines and decided to put on this basically a shroud over a typical wind turbine that would accelerate the flow of air. So in the same wind conditions, you can basically produce 2 or 3 times the electricity output. Mission Motors started originally as a state-of-the-art electric motorbike company, trying to produce the fastest electric bike in the world. They succeeded, they run actual races around the world, and they've now pivoted to become a supplier of components in this sector to large corporations and leaders around the world. And finally, on the far right, we have one of our companies from Chile. We see Chile as a great source of innovation, and they've developed a way to organically process and handle organic liquid waste from a whole range of different solutions. So this is just part of what we've been doing. One point that relates to Malaysia, so why we're in Malaysia today, started the story in 2011 in South Africa, in Durban, for COP17. There was a search there for the most innovative clean tech entrepreneurs in South Africa that was tied to the big UN meeting. We saw a number of interesting things, from taking waste streams, from taking tires and converting it into electricity, through to taking waste from paper mills, pulp, the sludge, and producing bioethanol. And that experience, that success, has now led us to create a global program to support, to foster, to help entrepreneurs in the clean tech sector around the world with UNIDO, the United Nations Industrial Development Organization, and GEF, the Global Environment Facility. So as part of this global program, we're now very proud to say Malaysia launched yesterday. It's one of the very first countries around the world. And apart from India, is the only Asian country involved in this program at the time. So really the focus is how can we use a competition to find the most innovative clean tech SMEs, clean tech startups in this country. How can we connect them to sources of training, connect them to mentors, to advisors, to sources of capital, to funding, to really help propel these things forward. And ultimately, we're trying to create a really strong, a really high-growth, clean tech entrepreneurial ecosystem in this country. And as I mentioned, this is part of a global program. Initially, we're focusing on 6 countries, Malaysia, Armenia, India, Pakistan, Turkey, and South Africa. And over time, expanding this. So through the work of the UN, the GEF, and ourselves, we're really looking to make this a truly global initiative. And a key part of that is Malaysia. How the program with our partners MIGHT is developing to be really a major source of clean tech innovators. So I think at this point I'd like to introduce my colleague, Mr. Nuwawi from MIGHT, who's managing this brand new initiative in Malaysia, which was launched with the minister from Kedah yesterday.
Thank you, Kevin. A very good afternoon to everyone. My name is Nawawi, and I'm representing MIGHT, Malaysian Industry Government Group for High Technology. So basically, we have been identified as the local lead agency for this project with UNIDO, GEF, and Cleantech Open. And of course, with the approval of National Resources and Environment, NRE, as well as Kedah as our chairperson for our project team. So basically, what we intend to do with this program is that in terms of vision, we would like to realize the Malaysian ambition to be the world leader in green technology, striving together with the national green technology policies. Our mission is basically to find, fund, and foster the most promising and innovative clean tech entrepreneurs in Malaysia, and the objective is to basically to establish a vibrant clean tech ecosystem for entrepreneurship development, creating a platform for interaction between technology and business people, coordinating existing initiative and programs by creating pathway to commercialization, and providing access to global market through the establishment of network and linkages, as what Kevin has just mentioned, that we have international partners such as GEF, UNIDO, and also Cleantech Open USA. This is pretty much what we intended to do by having this program in Malaysia, basically to establish the ecosystem that connects all the missing link between all these entities, because we have a lot of initiative out there. We have a lot of policies, but at times they are not streamlining in a way, in a manner that it will progress to produce results. So what we intend to do is basically to have the government, in terms of having the policies, in terms of having the private sectors, such as venture capitals, service providers, foundations, NGOs, individual donors, perhaps those green advocates that would like to see a better world for our children in future. So this is pretty much what we intend to do with this program in Malaysia. In terms of rationale, why we actually took up this project in the first place was that we wanted to actually have to review ourselves in terms of putting the right program to nurture our businesses, our startups especially, to provide the assistance they needed to actually propel them into a commercialization. In terms of refinement to the long-term goals of our Malaysia plan as per National Green Technology Policy, promotion of entrepreneurship in the country in line with the SME Master Plan 2012, recently released by SME Corp, in support of National Blue Ocean Strategy to inculcate innovative entrepreneurs, especially for the youth to participate, for the startups. Synergy with the National Renewable Energy Policy and Action Plan under KETA. As part of Malaysia's commitment to reduce carbon footprints by 40%, which was announced by our Prime Minister. And also synergizing with MITI, strategic planning to increase productivity and innovation within the manufacturing and services sector. In terms of eligibility of the participant for this program, we are looking at to have a company that actually represented by Malaysians. At least 51% of it is Malaysian-owned company. Have a ready proof of concept. So talking about they have a proof of a concept that ready, probably pre-commercialization on the green technology product and also services. The company is in operation with 2 minimum number of employees. You may join the program at the beginning, register yourself at the beginning as an individual, but eventually when we come into the second stage of that program, we would like to see that you register yourself as a business entity, because we don't have actually allow individuals to take up this program. So we would rather to see a company, because we want to see the company to succeed after this program. The company owns or intends to acquire intellectual property. This is very much what probably most of us, most startups, most SMEs were really afraid of, losing the intellectual properties. So we would very much like them to actually taking steps to make sure that the technology that they own or they have some or other in the progress of getting IPs. Yeah. And also the technology to fit into any of the category contested, which at this point of time we have actually putting all the focus areas in KETA in terms of focus areas such as energy generation, transportation, energy efficiency, water and wastewater, and so on. So we are open for any of the companies or startups that are looking into venturing into this kind of kind of fields or sectors, and we will develop them. The program, as the name suggests, is a competition come acceleration. We are not only we call it competition because we want to find the best Malaysian companies, because at the end of the day we want to nurture them, we want to bring them to US to participate in the global program, to meet them with potential partners, potential business partners, and also venture capitals to actually escalate the growth of the company. And we also have an acceleration program. During this competition of the whole program, we have a mentoring whereby we get all the experts in respective fields. You may have startups that have difficulty in terms of putting up a financial plan, a business strategy, a marketing plan. So we will have all these experts in the ecosystem to actually help the company or the SMEs to actually gain direct access to them. And we have sort of like one-to-one mentoring to actually guide the startups and entrepreneurs to build up their business. And of course, very important, the funding, the financial assistance. We are not guaranteed anything, but we are opening up routes for you to actually get to the funders venture capitals. And we are not only zooming in Malaysia, but we're also looking outside from Malaysia. As Mr. Kevin mentioned just now, we have partners in India, we have partners in Pakistan, Turkey, South Africa that we can leverage on the network, as well as in Silicon Valley itself, where we will have our global entrepreneur summit. And of course, access to market, as I mentioned, due to our network and linkages with the rest of the countries. These are some of the key activities that we're going to do throughout the process. We will have trainings, national academies, national webinars, regional training, and we also have one-to-one meeting in terms of mentoring. We'll have local as well as international specialists that will help the entrepreneurs, the participants of this program, to actually address their gaps. Might be in terms of financial, marketing, in terms of technology development, to refine it better, to meet certain criteria perhaps in overseas, in other countries' requirement and so on. Of course, access to capital, as I mentioned, and also showcasing your products to the rest of the world. Because our network that we have, you can go beyond Malaysia, beyond Asia, beyond the world. It's borderless. So the opportunity is huge actually for the SMEs and startups to take up this opportunity to actually connect, especially with those outside from Malaysia. This is going to be one of the events that we will be participating as the winner of this program. They will participate in Cleantech Open Global Forum. For this year, it will be from November 20th to 21st. This is actually an annual program that actually being conducted by Cleantech Open USA every year, and they have some sort like academy awards, if I may say, where they will be giving out prizes to the winners. And also next year we will have the global summit for our program under UNIDO and GES. These are some of the key dates for the program. So basically we launched, as Kevin mentioned yesterday, just now. Yesterday we launched our program in GES by the Minister of Kedah himself, Datuk Seri Panglima Dr. Max. And from October until March this year, we are actually next year we are actually going to start meeting the stakeholders, meeting the potential mentors and judges to register, start to receive interest for any companies that would like to participate in this program. And from April onwards, we will have the registration open for companies to participate. And finally, in October and November, we will have our final competition in iGEM 2014. And those companies that win will actually bring them to Silicon Valley to actually participate in the global open forum. So this is a snapshot of what the participant of the program will go through. So from the pre-screening until the end. So basically here, the key component of this will be the mentoring program, here and here. So you will have a one-to-one mentoring, you will have workshops, trainings, and of course building up to iGEM 2014 to have the final pitching during the iGEM 2014 next year. So with that, I thank you very much for the time given, and I now open to the floor perhaps for any questions from the participants.
Thank you so much to our speaker. Is there anything that Mr. Kevin would like to add on?
So just one quick comment. So thank you for the opportunity to share a little bit about this initiative, the exciting developments that we have. I also want to stress there's many ways that you can be involved, both as an entrepreneur in terms of a participant, but also as a mentor, as a judge, as an advisor, as an outreach partner, etc. We're very much focused on getting as many people as possible involved. In the US, where we started, we have over 2,000 volunteers working on this initiative. I think there's so much opportunity in Malaysia, and I'm very excited to be here and the great technologies and the great entrepreneurs we will see in 2014.
So I shall see that Mr. Kevin is talking about wanting all of you to be involved in Malaysia Cleantech Competition in 2014. Yeah, exactly. So is there any question from the ground that you would like to... Okay.
Hello and good day to everybody. I'm not giving any questions, but I would like to appreciate for our friend Mr. Matthias Gabler. He's a very well-known speaker in Malaysia, and even he know how to speak well Bahasa. We managed to gather him to this event. Therefore, maybe one simple words from you, because next door he managed to get a very big crowd from Green Tech, so I managed to welcome him for our event also. Please give him a welcome applause.
Yeah, I think this is an amazing initiative, and one of the ladies that I used to do a bit of work with, Terry, I think she participated 2 years ago as a Malaysian representative. Yeah, and I mean, the challenge is here and now. We need to implement green technology in our lives and our businesses for the benefit of the planet. CO2 emissions are shooting up, but we need to come up with things, and that's my experience, that save people money, save people resources, and actually deliver value. The fact that something is green doesn't automatically sell. Sometimes green needs to be even better than the non-green. And those are the real innovations that I'm looking for. I'm involved in a couple of green technologies and startups, and I'm looking for disruptive changes. We really need to shift our economy from a resource consumption-based economy to an efficient economy. That's why we need these inspiring green tech competitions. And from my own experience, I think my green tech company in Germany, we nearly went bust after 2 years because we thought our technology is so great, our products are so amazing, everybody will start buying. But only then we realized you need to prove your product first. Before other people want your technology, you need to take business away from them. Only then they will want to get something from you. So it's a long journey, and the people who are controlling the market are the guys that use conventional technology. They are not interested to give away some slice of the market to a newcomer. So we need to be efficient, better, maybe even sexier. So we need all the support we can get. And I think for Malaysia, it's critical to shift as well the Malaysian economy from oil, gas, timber, palm oil, tourism, that has helped Malaysia to grow as an economy, to innovation and efficiency, to get more from less. Otherwise, 2020 will never happen. And I see Malaysian investors not willing to invest in innovation, not willing to invest in medium to long-term return. Malaysian investors generally want to get their money back tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. So it's very difficult for innovation technologies to get funding in Malaysia. That's at least my experience. So this is greatly welcome. If I can make any contribution to this, I would be very happy to support it. And thanks for the opportunity to share. I didn't ask for it, but I was volunteered in. So, and great congratulations for the initiative. And if I can help in any way, I would be very happy to help. Thanks so much.